If you've ever found yourself wishing you had more secure storage in your Cybertruck, well, today's video might just be a good one for you. On today's video, I'm installing this heavy-duty steel safe underneath the seat of my Cybertruck. Now, I got this one from Tesstudio, and although I think the install is going to be very simple, I'm still going to go ahead and walk you through it step by step to see if something that you might want to put in your truck. Now, I already have a safe in my center console in the truck. Now, one of the benefits of this safe is it is biometric, meaning your thumbprints and your fingerprints can open it up, but it also comes with a key in case you prefer to use that. Now, as I said, it's going to install right here underneath your driver's seat. You set the back of the seat up all the way first until it's in the farthest back position. Once you set your safe kind of in place, you're going to see about where it's going to go. You are going to have to remove two bolts, the first of which is here on this side, and the second of which is there on the other side. The safe is not just going to sit here on top, although it kind of looks like that. It's actually going to go in between where this metal rack is and this little metal plate down below. Once we pull out this bolt, this is going to come up and it's going to slide in between here. And the little torque wrench you need to take these out is included in the kit. Now, to be very honest, this bolt was pretty tight and pretty hard to get out, and it didn't really get looser as I went on as I was expecting it to. Now, as you can see here, the bolt's a pretty good size once you get it out. Then here again, the same thing on the left side. Again, it would have been a little bit easier had I not been holding my camera with one hand and trying to undo it with the other. But these bolts are in there pretty good, but as you can see, totally attainable with the included tool. All right, so here we are on the driver's side of the seat, now that those bolts are out. So this little thin part of the top of the safe is going to fit in between these lines here. Now, this little piece about this long, just covers on the top, is just a little piece of plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and pry this off. In fact, I think, yeah, I can pull this off with my fingers. Went ahead and pried off the one on the right side of the seat also. So with those little plastic removed, you can see I'm going to have to get the little safe in between these. So I tried prying this up a little bit on the left side. Here I am on the right side. Any way I looked at it, I started to realize this was going to be a major challenge and I wasn't going to be able to pry this up enough. So what I did is slid the seats all the way forward and realized I'm going to have to take out these two bolts, one on each side on the rear of it also, which basically will end up removing the whole seat. Again, these bolts were in very snug, and if I was using both hands, it would have been easier. But I was expecting these, as most bolts would, just to get looser after you break them open, but these didn't. These were pretty much snug the whole way out. Once I had all four bolts out, it was pretty obvious that this is what I should have done all along. So once I slid the seat all the way back, I started to pry it, then I realized, let's just pull this whole thing off. So I pulled the whole seat up, and then the safe just slid right into place. That was the way to do it, and it fits actually in really snug. So here's kind of where your safe is going to set. You're going to set it all the way back, but you're not going to drive it too far back because remember, you do have this big cord in here. So this is going to sit safe. You can see it's just going to line up right over the holes. That's where your bolt's going to go down. That's where that big pin's going to fit in. Same thing on the other side. And the shape of this pin here with its flat sides on both sides is going to fit right down here into this where it's actually going to be really snug, so the safe's not going to be able to bounce around at all. From there, once you get the seat close position, once you kind of shake it, it really just falls into place and doesn't really have anywhere else to go. Then it's a matter of putting these two bolts in. I started putting it back in with the included wrench, which definitely worked, but there had to be a better way. So I went and grabbed a T45 Torx bit and put it on a socket wrench. And yeah, this is the way to go. This made this quite a bit easier. I put all four bolts back in using the socket wrench. Okay, now that we got the safe in, it's time to set the lock and to program that little biometric part. Now this is going to be like a zillion times easier to do it not in the truck. So I'm going to show you how to pull this drawer out, although you'd probably figure it out. Okay, so if we want to open this drawer and we haven't programmed it yet, which I have not, you're going to need the little key. Now the key is going to go right here, but as you can see, it's covered by a little black piece of plastic. Now I can get my little edge of my fingernail in here and pop this out. But if you need to, you can get like a little screwdriver, but as you can see, it kind of pops out. Your screw is gonna go in, and it's gonna rotate, then you can just pull your whole drawer straight out like so. Now on the side of these drawers, you're gonna have these little compound drawer slides, which are pretty good quality for what it's worth, but you're gonna release by pushing this little thing down. So here on the side of the door, as you pull it out, I can see I pulled it out. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now this one I'm going to pull up, so as I pull this up, the whole drawer is going to come out. Now you can see the whole drawer together. Now that both slides are out, you can pull straight out. Now the drawer is going to take two AAA batteries, which are not included, so you're going to have to get some of these. So the batteries are going to be right inside here. As you can see, there's just a little push button. So this is going to pop open. You're going to put your two batteries into there, just like you always would, lining up the plus and minus. And if you heard that beep, spin it around, you can see we've got power now. And as you would expect, you do have to remove this little protective film. I'm going to put my thumb on it. It's going to beep once, which means it is unlocked. Now, what's important, though, as you can see here again, it's locked. is when you first get this, you have to set an admin code. If you don't, literally any finger or thumbprint will work. So I haven't programmed my thumb, it just automatically works. So this is important that you've got to set this code. All right, so now we're gonna program the biometrics of it. Now this can be a little bit of a pain in the neck, but I'll kind of walk you through real time. So you are gonna need this little tool they give you, and you're gonna stick it in this little reset hole we showed you earlier. Now I like to hold this in for a good few seconds first to reset, so I'm pushing now, and I'm holding, you get that long beep. So now I know it kind of resets. I'm looking for 2 quick beeps. I got 2 beeps, my indicator light's on, thumb on the front. I get 1 beep off, 1 beep off, a long beep, and I know now it's been recorded. So we're gonna wait till this stops blinking and test it. Okay, so now it stopped blinking to test. And sure enough, it unlocks. You can see here, slide it over. Now let's let it lock back and test it with my other finger. So I got the 3 blinks, you see it's locked. Anytime you get the 3 beeps, it's not official. Only my thumbprint is gonna unlock this now. Okay, so one more time. If I wanna reset this now, if I wanna add another person, hit the little beep. I got the double beep. Now my first finger, 1 beep remove, 1 beep remove, 1 long beep, and it's stored. Test it again. Sure enough, now I can unlock it, let it lock back, try my middle finger. Sure enough, triple beep doesn't work. Back to my thumb. Now I have 2 different fingers stored on there, and that's how you'd store the second guest. Now the backup keys they give you are, in my opinion, kind of cool here. They just flip out, and these will work all the time, so even if you somehow get locked out of your safe, these will always work. Kind of go in here, like so. But before you put it back in, it does come with a bunch of foam that goes on the bottom and all 4 sides. On the bottom just sits into the place, but the ones that go into the side come with double stick tape, so they stick on there. Gives you a nice little padding, kind of takes away from that cold feel, makes it feel a little more comfortable. And then you're finally ready to put it back into place. Now it is going to be easiest to slide these into the tracks first, as you can see here, pushing on one side then the other. And a nice little test to make sure it's in right is, can you pull it out like that? You see me, once I can't pull it all the way out, I'm going to go ahead and push it in like so. I'm going to go ahead and test it. As you can see here, it's locked. I'm going to try my thumbprint. I get the beep, and it opens up. All right, so now that we've got the safe in, let's recap the install. While I wouldn't say it was really hard, I definitely wouldn't say it was easy. It was not overly complicated. In fact, had I known what you know now, seeing this install, it would have been a whole lot easier. What I wasn't expecting was to pull out all 4 of these bolts that were underneath the seats, the front and the backs, but that's definitely the way to do it. Now, it's possible you could just pry it up hard enough, but that's too much of a fight, and I spent more time doing that than if I would just remove the 2 in the back to begin with. Once I did that, it was really not that hard. Now, those 4 bolts, as I mentioned earlier, were pretty hard to get out. Not complicated, again, I did just have to put some muscle. Now, again, I was using one hand holding my camera with the other, but still, all 4 of those were a little bit tricky to get out. Once you got them out, it's really a piece of cake. The box just slides in right where it goes. And again, as you just saw, programming the biometrics, again, a little tricky, but hopefully I helped you navigate through that a little bit. And once it's installed, it doesn't restrict anything. There's nothing you can't do now that you could before. In fact, when I put the seat all the way forward, you can see it's actually kind of a tight fit, but it does still fit totally fine. There's no rubbing there, so really you can tell this was designed with pretty specific specifications in mind. Right, let me leave you with this quick review. Downsides to having the safe, I don't really see any. I wasn't really using that space underneath my seat, other than I did have a little storage container, so I don't have that anymore, but I still have storage, just now I can lock it. So I don't really see any downside with that. Upsides, I have another place where I can securely store stuff. The safe is biometric, so obviously it takes power. It takes those little AAA batteries. So a downside could potentially be it could die on you. But as long as you keep track of those keys, you can always get in even if it's dead, or even for some reason it forgets your fingerprint. So I don't really consider that a downside. If we go back into the installation I talked about quite a bit, it is a little more physical work than what I was expecting. Now, if you're watching this video and you know what to expect, I don't really consider that a downside anymore. Had I known going into it what I know now, I would consider this installation to be very moderate. I was just expecting to slide it in 5 minutes, and it's not quite that. All said and done, you're probably looking at about an hour job. Even with some of the headaches and the trickiness of programming, I would do it again 10 times over. I think it's going to be a great fit in my truck. I'm glad I did it. If it's something you want, use my channel name, Charisma. As always, jump on Tesstudio site. The link is down in the description below. And if you do use my code, you're going to get 20% off, and they'll kick another 2% back my way, which just allows me to pour more accessory money back into the truck to help you all. Thanks as always for watching. You guys are the best. See you in the next video.